Don
Yeah.
LaFontaine is one of the greats.
Oh my god, he was amazing. And like everybody knows that voice. I've heard obviously, he did a lot of trailers. I think it's like something north of 5,000 trailers, which is insane.
That's
But I've heard
probably on
lots
the
of
low
people
end.
do probably. But he's done a lot of, he's done commercials. There's been people that have made references to him in movies and stand-up routines. I mean, he's a pop culture icon and most people don't know his name, which is crazy.
It's
But
because it's because he's a voice actor primarily. But I think that I mean he changed the business in a way,
for
which
sure.
as a voiceover actor is incredibly difficult because like you said, most people don't know who you are. They're sort of faceless celebrities because you recognize their work, but you don't. If they were walking down the street, you would have no idea who they are. And this guy was so prevalent in the industry. I mean, like, I talk to my dad sometimes about it because my dad is also a fan, and I don't know if this was a Don LaFontaine thing, but he was known for it, which is he had like a fax machine in his car in order to print off scripts as he went to jobs. And the reason that he did
Jeez.
that is because he had so many different jobs in a day and he was bouncing from studio to studio to studio. So the only way for him to get print offs of stuff and like be prepared before showing up at the studio was to have it in the car with him.
That's wild. I hadn't heard that. I've heard lots of other things about him. I've heard, Total Pro, of course. He would just walk in, deliver the read on like the first or second take, and it was done. And I've heard people have tried to find other actors to kind of replace him or do what he was doing because he was so overbooked. And ultimately, they're just like, gotta wait for Don
It's got to be
because it
done.
was just he could just come in and nail it like every time. It's just that was the sound, and he had it.
I do
So
gotta say though, I think that there is a lot of emphasis put on he could just show up and do it, which I think that that to some degree is fair. I'm sure that when you are such a niche actor and they call you in for something very specific all the time, then you kind of know how to do it. But again, I'm going to point to the fact that he had a fax machine in his car so that he could show up prepared. And
yeah,
I think that there's actually not a lot of playtime in that regard, where people just think he just showed up and did it. And I think that that's part of it. I think that he was a talented person, but also he knew the script ahead of time. He had a breakdown. He would print it off, and he would come knowing what he was gonna do.
yeah, and showing up and nailing it does not mean that there's a lack of work involved. I mean, this was a master. He was a master of his craft. So, that means that the first day he was on the job doesn't mean that he was able to do that. But after doing it for
Right?
years and years and years, he knew what it took to get what his client wanted. So,
Exactly.
he would print his script off of his fax machine and prep for it. This way he was ready to walk into the booth and nail it. That doesn't mean he wasn't prepping in between. It was just that he was that much of a pro. So I think that they're different things. Just because you can do it effectively the first time doesn't mean that you're just lucky. He did the work to get to that point for sure.
Absolutely. Agreed. He's someone that we can look up to and strive to be like, especially with prep, I think.
For sure, yeah. So if you haven't figured it out yet, this week's episode is about movie trailers. And I like to call this episode Coming Soon, the evolution of movie trailers. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. Movie trailers have become kind of a hot button thing because movie trailers when Don did them, it at the time, it was hard to imagine any other voice doing movie trailers. And then when he unfortunately passed away, there was this lurch in the industry because there was a group of people who were essentially like, well, we got to find the next Don so that we can keep doing movie trailers. And then there was a group of people who were like, unfortunately, Don has passed. We're all sad, but we've got to find what the next thing is instead of trying to
Yeah.
fill that spot. And I think that people are gonna fall on both sides of this, and it's a tough thing. And I think for a while you saw the group of people who were trying to replace Don try to do stuff, and he's just irreplaceable. So now so after
Yeah.
that happened, I feel like now you're actually seeing people try to figure out, okay, so like what do movie trailers look like post Dawn?
Yeah. In general, are you a fan of movie trailers? Do you like watching the trailers?
So I liked movie trailers as a kid. And I think that's because when you're a kid, you see something and immediately forget about it. As an adult, as an adult,
So
I'm
so
not.
you liked them because they were easily gone from your memory. You just I need to make room for something else.
I mean,
So I love this thing that I can digest and spit out.
a weird. So trailers play a weird role in the movie going experience because trailers are meant to be tantalizing. They're meant to incentivize you to go and see the movie. So there's a fine line that the editor has to play in or has to walk in terms of what comprises the trailer. And I have been of the opinion for a very long time that, well, I saw the trailer, so what do I need to see the movie for? There's not going to be anything more exciting about the movie because
Interesting.
trailers are they just give everything away. And I have heard people, I've listened to people in the industry talk about trailers, particularly people who cut trailers. And I think we live in an interesting era, especially with social media, because the main thing is hooking the audience. And I hate this term because I feel like it's a catch all solution where they say it's essentially shock value and you have to, with the hook, grab their attention. And you can't use the second best thing. It's got to be the top shelf, top dollar item that you're using to hook someone, but then as the audience, I'm kinda like, "Well, if you just use the top shelf thing in the trailer, why do I need to go see the movie? You just gave me the main thing about gonna go see the movie."
And that seems to be you're not alone with that sentiment. I think there's a lot of people that also argue that trailers give too much away now. And like anything else, I think some things, some examples are worse than others. As as a whole, I like trailers. Like I'm excited to go to the movie theater and get there early enough to watch the trailers because I want to know what's coming up and what's what am I going to come back to see in the future. I think it's pretty fun. Now, that being said, the trailers that I don't like are the ones that the movie theater is doing like a self-promotion thing. Have you seen those?
No, what are those?
Oh man, so like movie theaters do obviously regular movie trailers, but they all seem to also have their own self-promotional trailers in there. It's usually the thing that plays right before the movie starts. And I'm not talking about the ones that are kind of promoting the concessions or, what I get it. You're trying to make revenue. I can't fault them for that. But they have
I
this
can.
thing now.
I'll fault them.
Can you? Okay. All
Shame
right.
on
Well,
you, AMC.
but they have this thing now, and I don't remember if it's Cinemark or Regal. They probably all do it. But they will show you, they'll take the screen and they'll shrink it to look like a cell phone shape.
Oh, and
And
then
they
they're
do this
like,
thing
"But
where they go,
this is how you
yes,
could see the movie."
yes. They're always like this. They're always like,
Yeah.
if you're watching Spider Man's next adventure on a cell phone screen, you're not getting the whole picture.
Yeah.
Spider Man's web slinging adventures are meant to be seen on the big screen. Better picture, better sound,
Yeah.
more Spider Man. And
But
I have
this
to
is
laugh because it's like, dude, we're here. We're at the theater. You're pitching it to the wrong people.
I
If you
do.
want more
It's
people to come, put this on the YouTube ad. Put it on television. Take out a Super Bowl ad. Show them why they should be here. You're telling me I bought the tickets. I'm here.
yeah. I do think that it is a little strange to be marketing it to the people who are sitting in the theater watching that trailer. I agree that that's a weird one to
It's
play right
ridiculous.
before the movie.
It's like what more do you want from me? Like I'm already here.
Yeah.
You're I don't know. It just seems like a wasted effort. But outside of those, and again, like, not every trailer is gonna be for me, but outside of those, I do like watching trailers.